What up YouTube, it's Mr. Grinch here with UG Studios. Today I'm going to give you a quick review of Harbor Freight's 60-gallon 2-stage compressor. What I like about it, it's an awesome compressor for what I've been doing. I do a little bit of powder coating and stuff, sandblasting, moderate sandblasting out of the garage. It's a 60-gallon, it is a 2-stage. If you come look down over here, it is item number 93274. It is 165 psi max. It's putting out 15.8 CFM at 90 psi and 16.4 CFM at 40 psi. And also, if you look over here, you notice that on the side of the pump, it says 2014, and on the front of the pump it says made in Italy. It's made by Central Pneumatic, right there on the front. It's made by Central Pneumatic. Harbor Freight sells it for $7.99. That's before taxes. I think there's also one that looks exactly like this. It's made by US General. It's pretty much the exact same thing. They just have different stickers on the front of it. But it's an awesome compressor for what I've been using it for. It's a full 5 horsepower motor, and the pump is made in Italy. Now, they're starting to run out of these ones. They're bringing the new 2015 models into the store. So if you can get this model, hurry up and get it while you can, because they're no longer selling this model. Sometimes they'll still have a few on the floor. So 93274. I believe the new ones are like 626699 or something like that, but they're not the same. They don't use the same pump. They've got a different motor. They're still putting out the same PSI and CFM, but I know that this pump and this motor, the year and model that they made was really good and had really good reviews. I've had the 8-gallon, I went to a 20-gallon, I had a 30-gallon, and especially with sandblasting, you know, it was just constantly running the compressor, and it was just going through a lot. So I figured, you know, might as well up on to a 60-gallon. So I knew I wanted something with a full 5 horsepower motor, and I wanted something 2-stage. And I know once you start getting 2-stage, usually you get 80 gallons, and I didn't want an 80-gallon compressor because I feel that's a little bit too big. So once I started looking into it and I read a little bit about the Central Pneumatic compressor, I was really happy that I could find a 60-gallon 2-stage. And once you start looking into it a little bit more, you'll notice that the tank is actually made here in Ohio. The motor's made in Italy, the pump's made in Italy, and the motor's made in Mexico. So virtually actually nothing on this tank is made in China, though it is from Harbor Freight. And you can go down to like Home Depot or Lowe's, and they have the Cobalt and Husky, and their 60 gallons retail usually around $450 to $499, and this is $7.99. Now the reason that those ones are a little bit cheaper is that they're only single stage, and the motors are only 3.7 horsepower. So once you jump into the 2-stage and the 5 horsepower motor, there is quite a price jump. But it's definitely worth it. It's an awesome compressor. Like I said, I do custom powder coating. I build microphones out of the garage, do a lot of sandblasting. My brother's been doing automotive work, and this compressor has been able to keep up with everything, no problem. It fills up from 0 to 165 in about 5 minutes flat. It kicks back in at about 120, and it's back at 165 at about 45 seconds. So it runs really good. I'll go ahead and turn it on for you so you can kind of hear what it sounds like. So it's not super quiet, but it's not super loud. But like I said, these models are running out. They no longer have this model in production. So if you can hurry up and go get one. I actually had waited about a week, and I had saved up money. And the day that I went to pick up this compressor, my local Harbor Freight had called me, and I pulled around the back, and they had the new 2015 one. And the guy was kind of excited for me. He's like, yeah, you know, I got the new 2015 one for you. And it's nice. It's got a gauge right here, and it's got the switch that comes down on the side. And this one actually, it's got the switch and the regulator over here. And it's already got a valve installed, but the pump head assembly was completely different. So I knew I didn't want it right away. So I loaded it up on the truck, and I was happy, but I started calling around all the Harbor Freights. Turns out I was able to get a hold of a guy up in Miramar, which is about a 30-minute drive from my house, and he had this last one, and it was the floor model. And they usually don't sell the floor models because of the one that people are touching and stuff, but he told me, you know what, since we're no longer going to be having this model in production, I'll go ahead and sell you the floor model. So I took the one that I had just picked up, which was the 2015. I took it up to the Harbor Freight in Miramar, and I took the floor model. And I'm super glad I did. It's been an awesome compressor. It puts out, like I said, haven't thrown anything at it yet that I haven't been able to handle. These are some of the microphones that are powder coated that have been done. And that's all with powder coat. And that's the Mr. Grinch logo. And yeah, not to say that the new 2015 models are bad. Like I said, they're putting out the same amount of CFM and pressure, but I know that this pump is supposedly a really good pump. So yeah, it's an awesome compressor. If you can go ahead and get one, I suggest you do. And like I said, the ones at Home Depot and Lowe's, they run a little bit cheaper, but you're going to get not as much horsepower, and you're not going to get a two-stage. So the two-stage basically has the smaller cylinder in the back and the bigger cylinder in the front, and then it runs through the intercooler into the tank, so you actually have cooler air into the tank. So it's an awesome compressor. You really can't go wrong with it. Usually, if you can talk to the managers or something, you can get a 20% discount. I have a cousin that works down at Harbor Freight, so I was actually able to walk out the door with a 2-year warranty for this one for $861. I think usually you'll pay after tax, if no discount, it's about $1,000, but it's still definitely worth it because if you look at some of the bigger models, like the more expensive ones, they're using the exact same components, and they're going for $1,800. So this is it's a really good compressor. If you're able to get your hands on this model, I suggest you go out and get it. Once again, this is Mr. Grinch from ugstudioz. If you've got any questions or comments or anything you want to know, just go ahead and give me a shout out. I'll be happy to answer questions. All right, you guys, later.